Have you ever looked at your bank balance and wondered, how is it possible that I worked all month, yet somehow there's barely anything left? It's a question millions of people quietly ask themselves. We're taught to believe the problem is our income, that we don't make enough, or that life has simply become too expensive. But after years of working as a financial advisor and talking to people from every income level, from modest families to high earners making over $200,000 a year, I've realized something uncomfortable but true. Most people aren't broke because they don't earn enough. They're broke because money slips away from them in ways they don't even see. A senior mentor once told me something that didn't fully hit me until years later. He said, "A ship doesn't sink because of the ocean, it sinks because of the small leaks no one pays attention to." The more I worked with real clients, the more I saw how accurate that was. People don't fall apart financially because of big, dramatic expenses. They fall apart because of the small, everyday decisions, the tiny leaks that drain their accounts slowly and silently. Warren Buffett once said, "If you don't know where your money is going, you'll lose financial freedom long before you realize it." And he was right. Nothing destroys your financial life faster than spending without awareness. That's why today, instead of giving you a boring list of financial tips, I want to walk you through a single connected story. A clear picture of how money quietly escapes from your life, little by little, through 16 wasteful habits almost everyone has. Not because we're irresponsible, not because we're careless, but because these habits hide in plain sight. They disguise themselves as small choices that don't really matter, but they do matter. And when you step back and look at the whole picture, you'll see exactly why your finances feel tight, no matter how hard you work. Let's start with something simple. You walk into a grocery store, see a giant family-size bag of nuts or dried fruit on sale, and think, "That's a great deal." You buy it, feeling smart, but weeks later it's stale, expired, or forgotten in the back of your pantry. You didn't save money, you wasted it. Not because the item was expensive, but because you bought more than you needed. And this isn't an isolated moment. It's part of a bigger pattern. We shop emotionally, not intentionally. Stores like Target, Walmart, and Costco spend millions designing the perfect environment to make you overspend without realizing it. The lighting, the music, the layout, the smell, they're not random. They are psychological triggers engineered to blur the line between "I want this" and "I actually need this." You walk in for one item, you walk out with 10, and it doesn't feel wrong. Until you look at your credit card statement. Then there's the illusion of luxury, like branded eyeglasses. Most people assume the higher price means higher quality. But here's the truth. Many expensive eyewear brands are manufactured in the same factories as cheaper ones. You're not paying for better lenses, you're paying for a logo. It's the same with lottery tickets. People think they're buying a chance, but they're really buying a feeling, a dream of waking up rich. The odds of winning Powerball are 1 in 292 million. Statistically, you're more likely to get struck by lightning than to win the jackpot. Yet millions still buy tickets every week, quietly draining their wallets in exchange for a fantasy that disappears in seconds. And then we have banking fees, what I like to call the tax for being inattentive. Maintenance fees, late fees, ATM fees, overdraft fees. Each one looks small, but together they cost Americans billions every year. Tiny leaks sink big ships. Health costs have their own trap too. Branded medications versus generics. Same ingredient, same effect, different price tag. Eating out also drains your wallet in ways you might not expect. A soda that costs the restaurant maybe 20 cents gets sold to you for $5. A cocktail with a 1,000% profit margin feels normal because you're used to it, but it adds up. And then there's your closet. How many clothes did you buy because they were on sale but never wore? If you buy something you never use, that's a 100% loss. Subscriptions make it even worse. Streaming, apps, cloud storage, gyms, you don't use half of them, but they still charge you every month. Most people underestimate their subscription cost by 2 to 3 times. Hotels charge for Wi-Fi, even though loyalty programs offer it free. Flights and rooms double in price during peak season without giving you better service. International roaming, that's the horror story of travelers. A casual week of data abroad can cost hundreds of dollars when an eSIM is only 20. Big SUVs look safe and powerful, but most people don't need one. They drive alone, rarely use the space, and pay more for everything: gas, insurance, maintenance, repairs. The car isn't expensive. The lifestyle that comes with it is. Investment fees are just as dangerous. A 1% fee sounds tiny, but over decades, it can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Buffett has warned America again and again. Buy low-cost index funds. Then there are emotional wastes, expensive souvenirs that collect dust, gifts for people who don't really appreciate them. The object isn't the waste. The waste is the mismatch between cost and value. When you step back and look at everything together, you realize your financial life isn't being ruined by one big disaster. It's being eaten alive by dozens of tiny termites. Each dollar seems small, but over years they become thousands lost to nothing. This is why financial freedom doesn't start with earning more. It starts with letting less money slip away. Buffett lived his whole life avoiding unnecessary spending, not because he was cheap, but because he respected money, and that respect compounded into billions. So now the only question left is, what will you change in the next 24 hours? Because even the smallest choice, today, right now, is the first step toward a wealthy, stable, and free financial future.